Wallace. Wallace finds top shelf back corner. Carlow is going to take the 4-1.
Sean Meyers here of the Carlow Sports Network as we bring to you another season preview here in 2019. We are looking at men's soccer for Carlow. I'm now joined by the head coach in his fourth year, Marcus Pollidore. Marcus, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it. Looking forward to a successful 2019.
Hopefully. I have a good group of guys, and hopefully good things will come of the season.
Before we look to this season, let's take a look back. Last year, your team won just one game in River State's conference. What do you think were the biggest factors in failing to win more matches?
The River States is a pretty competitive conference, and the conference has a lot of international players, guys who are coming out of the academy system in Europe. So it's tough for guys to come straight out of high school and compete against, guys who have been playing semi-pro for a long time, basically.
How did last year's season meet up with the expectations that you and the players had set going into that year?
We fell a little bit short. We thought we could have won a few more games, and fell about 3 or 4 games short of what we were hoping to accomplish.
So you return a decent amount for this year. Who are some of the notable guys who are back in the fold?
Janvier Ransom, he's one of the guys. Lonta Air, goalkeeper Adam is back. He's a good, solid player. Those 3 guys, sort of build a team around them.
When you talk about Janvier Ransom, he was a goal scorer. He had 11 of your team's 18 goals. What are some of his qualities that allow him to have such offensive success?
He has a natural instinct for the goal. He loves to cut in, use his left foot. He occupies space well, and he can find his. He can pick out a shot. He's good at that.
So he has his natural instincts. What have you worked specifically in his game in terms of improvement?
So in terms of improvement, so right in front of the penalty area is what we call zone 14, and we worked on his movement in zone 14, where to optimize his scoring percentage.
When you look at him, do you want even more goals this year? Because obviously he provided more than 50%. Do you think it's fair to say he can continue that scoring burden?
He can do it. We also have Elias Schoedel. Elias is the leading scorer coming out of Ringwell High School. He's our target player. He's pretty good. He's scored in all the scrimmages we've played so far. He's scored or assisted in all those games.
You have a very talented goalie in Adam Meyers. He was really a workhorse last year, probably will be the same this year. His numbers maybe don't reflect how good he was. What stands out about him?
His work ethic. He's a hard worker. He doesn't complain much. He gets the job done, basically. Yes.
We'll be talking to Adam a little bit later on this season preview, but do you need to make sure that he keeps the focus of, hey, you're probably going to see a lot of shots. Don't be discouraged by that. Have the right mindset.
That, and I think the team's a little bit better than last year. So defensively, I don't think we should be seeing as much shots as we did. So it's a little bit easier for him, but he's capable of handling the job.
When you look at the team here in 2019, you have a small senior group. You have, of course, Meyers, Colt Zappa, Zach Wagner. How has the leadership been with maybe not a massive senior group?
It's been really good so far, because I think the guys have come together collectively as a good unit, a band of brothers, and it all started in preseason. We realized that that some of the guys were expected to come didn't come. So we know we're pretty low on numbers, like we have like 70 guys on the roster. But they've come together well, and they've helped each other really well.
with the smaller numbers, does it change what you have to do strategically?
And not how we play, but in terms of like making sure they get enough rest, making sure that they're well taken care of, making sure that they're getting their schoolwork done, all those things, you have to be on top of that.
You mentioned it doesn't affect how you want to play. What is your preferred style of play for this team?
For this team, we have some skillful guys, so I like a possession-based like attack or all-out attacking game. So we have guys who can hold up the ball, who can make things happen.
You mentioned before, the River States Conference has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Talent not just from Western Pennsylvania or bordering states, but all over the world. What are your expectations from the rest of the conference this year?
It's going to be competitive as usual because teams like Rio, West Virginia Tech, they're all going to be up there competing. But I think with some of the other teams, we can compete with them.
So go back a handful of years. You were instrumental in forming this team back in 2016, the first season. Did you have a time frame for building the program back then, and how have you progressed since that time?
So soccer's like life. Nothing like you can plan things, but it never goes as expected. Ideally, you give yourself a 5-year time frame in which to build a team. I think we've had some ups and downs, and this year we have a good core group with which to build on.
You have a beautiful home venue here, at least for most of the matches. Not all of them, but most of them. Highmark Stadium right behind us, also the home of the Riverhounds. What are the benefits for playing here?
In terms of recruiting, it's good for recruiting. It does help a little bit. It's just a nice venue to play on. You know, it's really scenic. It's just nice to play on here.
Let's talk a little bit about the fan support. What have you done and what has the program done to try to grow that, since you are still a relatively new program here?
I think we've had pretty good support so far from most of the parents. A lot of guys have friends on campus, so they regularly attend games. So we have a pretty decent turnout that do come to games.
Have you set any particular goals or objectives for your team to achieve this year?
We haven't set any goals yet. We're still working on that. We still, basically, as a new team, as a better team, we'll be still trying to discover who we are, and then we actually are working on some goals. But ask me that in a couple of games, and I'll be able to tell you a better answer.
And what's your favorite part of being a coach here at Carlow University?
My favorite part is just being a coach. I love coaching. I think coaching found me.
Well, certainly you've done a great job coaching, whether it be the women's or now the men's. That's head coach Marcus Pollidore of the Carlow Celtics. Now joined by Adam Meyers, the senior goalkeeper for the Carlow Celtics, as we continue our season preview. Adam, thank you for taking the time.
Oh, no problem.
Throughout last year and even the first game this year, you were heavily tested. You get a lot of shots directed your way. How do you handle that high volume?
Just if one goes in the back of the net, you just gotta forget about it, move on, face the next one. That's really about it.
Is that a mindset you've always had, or is that something you had to develop?
Yeah, during high school, a good bit of shots would go through the back of the net. So I kind of learned as I grew to just keep your head up, really.
What have your areas of improvement been since last year?
Well, I got these nice glasses.
There you go.
I never played with contacts before, so it kind of helps. Other than that, just working on my mobility, really, and the way I kick the ball, mainly goal kicks and punts, trying to get them further up the field, and really just my diving technique and everything.
So you're basically saying you were playing without great vision prior to this season?
A little bit, yeah.
How did you kind of decide that was the route you needed to go?
What, glasses?
Yes.
I just figured if I couldn't see which one of my teammates was scoring the goal, I needed to fix that problem.
I can relate.
Yeah.
So you're the only goalie listed on the roster, at least right as of now. What's the plan if you ever have to come out for injury or illness?
So luckily that actually isn't the case anymore. We're working on getting Blaze down there and net through the NAI and everything. So hopefully we'll have a goalie on roster by then. If not, I mean, if I get hurt, I just got to keep playing, really.
Do you feel like you kind of have to have that burden of being a workhorse?
No, I wouldn't say it's really a burden per se, but it's definitely, you definitely think about it in the back of your head, like what happens if I do go down? What do I do about it? But I really just try to be as healthy as I can overall.
How do you kind of build chemistry between you and the players in front of you?
So we're actually all like, the group that we have down there right now is wonderful. All the guys get along real well, so it's always a positive to have. Other than that, like on the field, we're never really angry at each other. Everything, it's always constructive criticism versus, you did this, you did that wrong, and just yelling at them. So overall, I think we have really good team chemistry.
There's some talented players on this team, a lot of guys who return. Who do you look at as maybe breakout performers in 2019?
Definitely Eli Schoedel, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. He's our striker up top. He's already netted a few goals in some of the preseason matches we had. I think he can easily get about 10 or 12 this season. Other than that, we have Lonthar returning, Lonthar, and he's our centerpiece through the midfield, so definitely him as well.
You're a senior. Have you kind of developed more of a leadership role? How has your role evolved?
Yeah, a little bit. I like to try to get the guys going here and there. I think we all do a pretty good job of holding each other accountable. So it's not just one person out there. We definitely have our two captains, but everybody follows that same leadership role. So that's nice.
Are you pretty vocal in that?
Oh yeah, I like to yell a little bit.
Gotta
let them hear me.
Team goals for this year?
There's a lot of winnable games on our schedule this year, so I would like to see us win, between 7 and 9 games. That's ideal for us. We'd like to make the playoffs. I know that's a big one, and really those two are the goals, and staying healthy, 3. So I think those are solid goals for us to have this year.
Do you think that this team can be significantly better than a year ago?
Yeah, I think we added some guys to the roster, specifically like in our midfield and our attacking, that can really do damage to other teams. So
you attended CCAC, ultimately made the decision a couple years ago to come to Carlow. What went into that decision?
Really it was, I wanted to play some soccer. My buddy Colt Zappa, who's also on the team, was telling me he was coming here. So I figured, why not give it a shot again.
Is there a particular match or a few matches that you're really looking forward to this year?
I'd like to get CCU back. Westminster's a big one. And then I'd like to really give our best shot at Raya. I think we can turn the tables maybe this year.
Is there a particular team that you look at as a litmus test, maybe a team to beat in the River States?
WV Tech and Raya would be the two biggest wins if we could pull those off.
So the vast majority of your team played in the WPIAL in high school. I know you said you knew Colt, but did you have relationships with many guys prior to heading to Carlow?
We have like a really young roster this year, so a lot of those kids I was already out of high school by then. So me and Colt definitely, we've been playing soccer since we were like 6 together. I was down there. Nah, not before Carlow.
Marcus Pollidore has done a great job building this program.
Yeah,
he started it from scratch.
Yeah.
What stands out about him and his best qualities?
Just the way his commitment to this team is big. Like, all of us understand that he's here and he's here to make us work. And I think we all enjoy that. He's driven. He's a great leader when it comes to coaching us. The drills that he puts us through in practice are really high intensity, high IQ drills. So he's definitely a big influence for us.
Beautiful venue behind us here, Highmark Stadium.
Nothing better.
How does that compare to the other stadiums you've played in?
This is by far the best. I mean, look at the city. It's beautiful back there. I haven't played anywhere nicer.
And I asked Coach Polidore, how much of a recruiting tool is this venue?
Big. I would say it definitely has a little piece. You bring someone down there, like, kind of jaw hits the floor. I mean, it's wonderful.
Well, we appreciate the time. Good luck
you.
heading into this season.
Thank you so much.
That is Adam Meyers, the senior goalkeeper for the Carlow Celtics.
Thank you.
We're now joined by a freshman forward for the Carlow Celtics, Eli Schoedel. Eli, first off, welcome. It's been a pretty impressive start from what I've heard from your teammates. I know you only have one game under your belt, but feel like you're acclimating yourself pretty well?
Yeah, I think so. College is a little bit faster than high school, so people are a lot stronger, but overall I feel like I'm getting into the groove of it.
What have you had to do to kind of adjust to the speed of the game, the physicality?
Honestly, just take practice way harder than, step it up in practice, because if you're not practicing like you're playing, then you're just going to get run off the field.
Looks like you're practicing pretty hard tonight. You've worked up a sweat. Early season, I know that there's been some hurdles for this team, but what are the expectations for Carlow this year?
Honestly, we're just going to try our best. We're working hard, trying to get things back in order. So honestly, the expectations is just do the best we can with what we have so far.
You're from Ringgold High School. Matt Cannon is a couple years older, but also from Ringgold High School. Did you have a relationship with him?
Oh yeah, he's one of the big reasons we would talk and stuff like that, and he really tried to get me acclimated into Carlow. But yeah, we had a couple classes at Ringgold, and it was nice seeing him again.
Now, I know you have not played any River State's conference matches yet, but what's your expectation for that level of competition when it does arrive?
Faster. I feel like our conference is pretty tough, so every game's going to be a battle, and just try and take it one step at a time.
Seems like you have a penchant for scoring. Has that always been one of your best attributes?
I'd like to think so. I played forward in high school, and I always loved it up there. But yeah, try my best every game.
Is there anyone that you've really developed chemistry with? I know it's, again, still early in the season, but who have you kind of meshed with?
Well, I think me and Lon have a good connection, him getting me the ball, and also John Vier. We work pretty well together up front.
You guys have a pretty talented keeper, Adam Meyers.
Oh, yeah. What
stands out about him, and how much confidence does he give the rest of the team in front of him?
It's like we're always in the game, anytime there's a shot, there's a chance of him saving it. So we love that about him. He definitely has our backs most of the time. So yeah, boosts our confidence a ton when he's back there.
And lastly, Marcus Pollidore has built this program from the ground up. What stands out about him to you?
Well, I think he's always trying to get the best out of every player. I think he knows how to instill a good work ethic in our team. Even if results don't go our way, we're still a young team, relatively speaking, and building. So,
well, we appreciate the time, and good luck heading into the River State's conference part of the 2019 season.
Thank you.
That's Eli Schoedel, a freshman for the Carlow Celtics men's soccer team.